Hi, my name is Tracy Wilkinson. I'm based in Los Angeles and I work in mixed media, primarily clay and glass. I'm here to give you a little tour of my space as part of the Studio series for the American Craft Council. So come on in. What I love about my studio is the commute. This is my house and this is my studio. About 6 or 7 years ago, we decided to move out of a small studio and use this space, which I really wasn't using, the carport, and just build it in to make a nice studio. It started off very clean and tidy. It's over the years got a lot more stuffed with bits and pieces. I begin the ideas for my pieces in my planner, in my calendar. I just have these spare pages usually in between months, and I fill them up with little drawings. And then occasionally I will make those into larger kind of paintings that I can then use as a template for making the pieces. My pieces are all hand-built, so I use a mixture of slab and coil. Obviously the pieces on the exterior here are made of slab, and then the part underneath is usually coil. I also do some pinching technique for these additions on top of this piece. So here's my slab roller, pride of place in my studio. I've had this about 7 or 8 years and I use it every day. And underneath I store beach balls, different sizes, because that's what I use to create the bases of the rounded pieces. I drape the slab over them and leave it overnight. Then the next day I can usually turn it upside down and continue with the coiling. So this is my Teras station. Teras is kind of like a very fine slip that you can color and then you can paint onto the pieces, or you can spray it on. I think I've never done that, but you can. And it's supposed to give kind of a slightly burnished look. I generally use it at a different temperature in the kiln to get a kind of more crackled surface. Most of my ceramics now have glass elements to them. So once I've created the glass at 6mm in the kiln, then I use this machine to cut out the shapes of the glass. This is a new one. This is my old machine that finally gave up the ghost. And so I had to invest in a new one, and this one is amazing. It's a ring saw, but it uses water, so it's a very kind of messy machine, as they all are with glass actually. This is the grinder, which also uses water. And then the worst one that I end up completely drenched is the sander, the wet sander. That thing, you really need a raincoat on to be able to use that. Starting with the fused glass, these are the shapes that I trace onto vellum. So they all have their interconnecting pieces already assigned and color-wise. And then I actually trace those onto the fused glass, cut it out with the machines, grind it, sand it, and it ends up looking like that. I made this little tool pocket a few years ago, and it's turned out to be really useful. I am a little bit messy, as you can see, and so having somewhere to put all my tools has been brilliant, because then I can always find them. These pieces are actually the ones that didn't work out. They eventually will probably be smashed, although that's going to be very painful. But here you can see the Teras was actually a little bit too thick, so it peeled off too much. I like a little bit of peeling, but not too much peeling. This was the same also. The color didn't come out really how I anticipated it would. And then on these pieces that I really loved to do, these kind of like crater pieces, I had a lot of cracking, so I still have a lot of work to do to figure out how to do that better. So here is the result of all that work in the studio. This is a show that is up through September in Los Angeles, 2023. The name of the show is SPACEBLOOM, and you can see how these pieces of glass connect to each other, how the color balance works, and those little bubbles in the glass that I love, and how they connect as like frozen delicate frozen gardens that come out of these very sturdy, heavy ceramic bases. So that's the end of the tour. Thanks for your visit. If you want to see more, please follow me on Instagram at TW Workshop.